All right. Hi, Bob. Hi, everybody. We're in. We're here to get started.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Stephanie.
Hi,
And
guys.
how's everybody doing? Yeah, everybody's on mute, so just to make sure we keep everything clear. But we will wave and say hello, and then get into the program, and obviously we'll hear from all of our award winners over the course of the event. Without further ado, welcome to the 2026 NASJA Awards Ceremony. I'm Bob Curley, the president of NASJA. And oh yeah, and the box is open too. So if people want to leave some comments in chat, that's great. We'll keep an eye on those as well. Um, so um, again, this is this is besides the annual meeting, this is NASJA's biggest day, or in this case for us on the East Coast, evening. But Welcome to all of our members. Welcome to our honorees, guests, partners, friends of NASJA, and whoever else happens to be on board with us tonight. This is always a lot of fun, and I love hearing the stories about the winners and their backgrounds. And I think the process was really great this year. We had some excellent judges who I also want to thank for their work. And mostly thank the membership for getting involved and nominating people and you know recognizing some really important people in NASJA and this is an organization that continues to play a really important role in supporting snow sports journalism, communication, and industry storytelling throughout North America. So I think it's indicative of um, our stature that all of our award winners are here tonight, and in spirit, and in one case a statement, a video statement. But again, congrats to all the winners and the finalists as well, and looking forward to hearing everybody be recognized tonight and represented. So before we get started, and I know we're going to switch to the next slide, I wanted to briefly speak about NASJA's history and vision. The vision of NASJA really hasn't changed since 1963, and when the organization was officially founded, although it kind of grew out of some other organizations as well. But so the vision of NASJA, it's this is a group of journalists who cover snow sports, but it's more than that. It's also an organization that's involved in advocacy and works with our industry partners and seeks to promote the work of our members as well as facilitating it. So we have a 63-year tradition of NASJA. And we got a couple of pictures up here. Jeff Blumenfeld, who is one of our board members, has been nice enough to collect a lot of historic photos. There's some great stuff in here. You'll see, famous skiers sitting alongside some of our NASJA journalists, some of whom are still active in the organization. There's a nice picture of Warren Miller with one of his famous sweaters. So the long history here, and I want to just touch on that briefly. But let's start with the mission of NASJA, which is to foster. I'm going to read it. That's we have an actual mission statement that was adopted a few years ago. The mission of NASJA is to foster an environment of excellence in journalism through the establishment of high ethical and professional standards for snow sports journalists and undertaking activities for the betterment of skiing and snowboarding, excuse me. So again, these awards honor excellence in snow sports journalism, communications, public relations, competition, and lifetime contributions to North American snow sports. And just to back up for 1 second, I wanted to give you a little more sense of the history of the group. Many of you obviously are longtime members and know this stuff, but there's some newcomers probably to the organization, and also people who aren't actually NASJA members tuning in tonight. So just briefly, NASJA, in 1963, a group of ski journalists, founded the Eastern Ski Writers Association, which was the predecessor of the United States Ski Writers Association, which ultimately became NASJA. And the first president was Carson White, who we will hear more about this evening. He's the namesake of one of our major awards. And then NASJA quickly became an important voice in the snow sports industry at a time where this sport, where the sport of skiing in particular, was growing strong. And awards really have always been central to the mission of the organization. The Harold Hirsch Award for Journalistic Excellence was established the same year as the organization was in 1963. The Competitor of the Year Award, which we're also going to give tonight, was established in 1967. And the Golden Quill Award, which later became the Carson White Award, was established in 1968. And then in the 80s, we expanded the awards to recognize still photography and radio broadcasting. And then in the 90s, we expanded the awards basically to include photographers, filmmakers, broadcasters, and book authors. And we've expanded it to take into account podcasts since then. So again, across 5 decades, NASJA has remained a community of storytellers connected by a shared love of skiing, snowboarding, winter, and the mountains, regardless of the media that they work in. So without further ado, I am going to turn this over to our MC this evening, who is Eric Wilder. Eric Wilbur has spent the better part of the last 3 decades immersed in the New England sports and snow scenes. His skiing and travel writing has appeared in the Boston Globe and the New England Ski Journal. He's also the co-author of 30 Years in a White Haze, which is an autobiography written by NASJA member and Skiing Hall of Famer Dan Egan. And he continues his role as a sports columnist for Boston.com on a freelance basis. And I'm sure that many of you know Eric and know his work. If you wants to elaborate on his bio, he can do that. But otherwise, I'm just going to turn it over to him and into his short hands, and we can kick things off here. Thanks, Eric.
Great. Thank you very much, Bob. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I was asked to do this, and not the sort of thing I'm usually jumping to do, but something compelled me and made me want to do this to share with this group of writers. I've been a ski journalist for about a decade. New England Ski Journal, Boston Globe. Took a couple of years off due to a tragedy in the family. And I've been recently writing for Sam Magazine, which has been kind of a nice little getting my foot back into the door. So without further ado, I would like to begin by thanking our Harold S. Hirsch Award judges. Promoting professionalism in winter sports coverage, the Harold S. Hirsch Awards recognize creativity and excellence in editorial and artistic content in journalism, photography, broadcast, digital, and podcast work. This year's judges were Adam White, Executive Director of Communications at the University of Vermont. Formerly, Adam was a reporter at the Burlington Free Press and worked at Ski Vermont, and he was also Vail's Northeast Communications Director. Rick Kahl, longtime ski journalist and editor. Rick served in several editorial roles starting at Stratton Mountain News, Skiing Magazine, including editor-in-chief from 1990 to 2002, otherwise known as my prime years with that magazine. Nothing was better. And was also editor of Ski Business and Sam. Nancy Marshall, the PR maven, CEO of Marshall Communications, a boutique marketing and public relations agency. And our first award, the Harold S. Hirsch Award for Images and Video. The winner is Dino Vornas. Dino Vornas is recognized in the Harold S. Hirsch Images category for his outstanding visual storytelling in snowsports journalism. A longtime NASJA member and accomplished photographer, Dino has spent years capturing the beauty, energy, and emotion of skiing through his lens. His work reflects not only technical skill, but also a deep understanding of the mountains, the athletes, and the moments that make snow sports so powerful. The judges praised Dino's winning image for immediately pulling the viewer into the scene. As one judge noted, "I want to be that guy." The image captures a beautiful setting, a strong skier, and just enough mystery about what is coming next, with mountains and a lake stretching out ahead. It is the kind of image that makes you feel the freedom, adventure, and pure joy of being on snow. Please join us in congratulating Dino, recipient of the 2026 Harold S. Hirsch Award for Excellence in Snow Sports Journalism Images.
Dino, I unmuted you if you want to say hi.
Dino, can you tell us what this award means? What does it mean to hear words like that by one of the judges? That's some pretty high praise.
Well, it's unbelievable. At times. I mean, I just I try to do my best, and once in a while, you get lucky, or you keep up a solid investigational type of thing, and it works out. You just keep trying. That's my advice, is to learn your equipment, and then just keep going. It's we're in a golden era now where there's just digital. You don't have to get film and take a lot of money to develop 36 photos. When you put a card in the machine, in the camera now, and you'll get 20,000 images in one card. So I last time I came here, last time I was at the meeting, I had some problems. It seemed like I was working on my house still, so I wanted to apologize for not for having my all the sound on, and while people were talking, I was throwing stuff into my backyard. So anyway, sorry about that. But I wanted to say that I want to thank all my friends, NASJA friends, for being guinea pigs / models. I hope that I didn't put them in any kind of death-defying plunges, but it will happen sometimes, and if it does, it's the old F8 and be there. Every man and woman for himself. So I had a great time photographing, and yeah, thanks again for choosing my stuff.
Thank you, Dino. That was great. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to our second award, the Harold S. Hirsch Award for Podcasts. The winner is Stuart Winchester. Winning entry is the Storm Skiing Podcast, episode 211, Rob Katz, Vail CEO. As many of you, I'm sure know, Stuart Winchester is recognized. Well, I'm not sure you know. Stuart Winchester is recognized in the Harold S. Hirsch Podcast category for his outstanding work in snow sports audio journalism. That's what I meant to say. I'm sure as all you know, the podcast. This year, all 3 podcast entries in the category were submitted by Stuart, and the judges noted that every one of them was outstanding. His winning episode, featuring Rob Katz of Vail Resorts, stood out for the depth, intimacy, and quality of the conversation. The judges praised Stuart's ability to create the feeling of sitting in on a rare, thoughtful conversation with a ski industry giant. They noted that it is not often listeners get the opportunity to hear someone like Rob Katz speak at length in such a personal and reflective setting. They also recognize the tremendous amount of work Stuart puts into every episode, from scheduling and guest coordination to editing, distribution, show notes, promotion, online archiving, and advertiser support. Beyond the audio itself, the judges highlighted the full package Stuart creates, including strong sound quality, detailed show notes, and additional media such as trail maps and photos that bring the story to life. One judge summed it up by saying they were inspired to listen to every episode because the podcast is, quote, just so good and so interesting. Please join us in congratulating Stuart Winchester, recipient of the 2026 Harold S. Hirsch Award for Excellence in Snow Sports Journalism Podcasts.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, everybody.
Stuart, congratulations. You know, I think everyone here has, the ultimate respect for your podcast and just how detailed and how in depth you truly go. It's really remarkable. So congratulations. What was it about this episode that notably stuck out to you?
Thank you, Eric, and good to see you back, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see you back in the back riding and back in the snow sports world. Um, and I enjoyed our conversation on the podcast a
Thank
few
you.
years back,
Me
which is
too.
a good one you can dig up. I want to first just say that the podcast is not just me. It's really wouldn't exist without my wife, Trisha, who is a television editor by trade and is the one who brought that particular technical skill set into this equation. Otherwise, it would just be a newsletter, and the podcast probably wouldn't exist. I would have been either too intimidated or unable to figure it out. So, last year we did a really big pivot to video, and that is a whole extra layer of editorial, and it presents opportunities to add some of those assets you're talking about, the photos and maps, but it also it complicates the editorial pipeline a little bit. So she's been great with that, and I work with her closely on all of these. What I like about interviewing Rob in particular is that he'll answer any question. I like to send folks topics in advance, just so they have a sense of, so they can kind of think about what they're going to talk about. And I've probably done 2 dozen podcasts with Vail reps, and there's never been any, don't ask this. There's no go zones. If anyone ever says that to me, I just cancel the interview, because it's I'm going to ask the question. You can answer however you want. And I always say, the further I can get away from someone who has a boss, the better the conversation is. I respect the team at Vail. They're great to work with, but he's really the only one there that speaks completely freely. I know he has shareholders, but you really get a sense that that you're having a real conversation with someone there. I think one of my other episodes that I nominated was with Eric Mogensen, who's on the line. And Eric's another one of those guys who is great to talk to, who has no bosses and doesn't answer to anyone. So, I appreciate that the ski industry has proven to be open to outside questioning, just regular journalism. And I think for too long, some elements of ski journalism were pay to play, afraid to lose access, and that's really just not how I work. And this ski industry has been great. The leaders throughout have just being willing to come on the pod and talk. And this was Rob's second time on, and first time with video. So I appreciated that opportunity at what's really a crucial time for that company, for Vail Resorts, and for the ski industry in general, as it's undergoing tremendous amount of meta pressures in the outside world that all industries are facing right now. But it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Stuart. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to the award for words category. And the winner is Moira McCarthy. For her winning series, the Ski Wednesday columns in the Boston Herald. Recognized columns were Burke Remains a Northeast Kingdom Jewel, There's a Cure for the Powder Flu, and Sugarloaf is Still Sweet. Moira McCarthy is recognized in the Harold S. Hirsch Words Recurring category for Ski Wednesday columns in the Boston Herald. The judges praised Moira's work for capturing the tone and atmosphere of a resort with an uncanny eye and an empathetic sensibility. Her writing brings the skiing itself to life, allowing readers to feel the slopes sliding beneath her skis and the icy wind on her face. They also noted that even when Moira's columns deliver the practical basics, whether about a resort, a destination, or how to ski powder, she keeps the writing personal, useful, and engaging by weaving in her own insights and recommendations. With a judge's score of 4.9, Moira was recognized as the knowledgeable best friend skiers in the greater Boston area rely on for news, advice, and an energizing shot of skiing buzz. Please join us in congratulating Moira McCarthy, recipient of the 2026 Harold S. Hirsch Award for Excellence in Snowsports Journalism. Words. Congratulations, Moira.
Thank you. That was super nice. I have fooled you all. You have no idea. I I was thinking the other day about why I pursued this field and why I wanted it so badly and what makes me so happy about it. And it goes back to why I loved skiing as a kid. I loved the outdoors, I loved the activity, I loved the challenge, but most of all, it's the community. And I think about a lot of the people on this Zoom call and who I know across the industry from my 11 billion years of doing this. And I was thinking, who other than us has this many ride or dies, right? So I just want to say thank you to everyone for being awesome all these years. And I'm just really lucky to have spent my career writing about things that make me happy. I mean, who gets to do that? So thank you.
Thank you, Moira. I should have mentioned that I am also a two-time, not to humble brag, but I am also a two-time award winner with a Hirsch Award for my book with Dan Egan and the Mitch Kaplan Award. And those do truly mean a lot to me because it's voted on by peers who are very nuanced in what they do and what they know. Correct. And so to have people that know all this stuff judge you and say, you're pretty good, dude, is an honor. So thank you for all that.
Thank
Moving
you.
on. Sorry?
Thank you. That's all.
Oh. Moving on. The Harold S. Hirsch Award, Words category, standalone. The winner is Peggy Shin. Peggy is winning for her winning article in Slate, Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Peggy Shin has been a valued member of NASJA for many years, and her work reflects the kind of thoughtful, polished, and deeply human storytelling this award was created to honor. This year, Peggy is recognized in the Harold S. Hirsch Words standalone category for her Slate article on Lindsey Vonn, Michaela Schifrin, and the Milan Cortina Olympics. The judges described Peggy's piece as exemplary writing in every sense, provocative and engaging, while also funny, poignant, informative, and entertaining. Most importantly, the judges felt Peggy's storytelling went beyond the specifics of the subject itself. Her piece captured meaningful conversations and observations about the human spirit, elevating the story into something larger, more memorable, and deeply resonant. The judges called it, quote, absolutely top-notch storytelling in every way. Please join us in congratulating Peggy Shin, recipient of the 2026 Harold S. Hirsch Award for Excellence in Snowsports Journalism, Words category.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Peggy.
Thank you. So it's very nice to receive this, as always. I think a lot of us ski writers know we're kind of getting put out to pasture here rather quickly by social media. This was the first Olympics I haven't attended in 18 years. Yeah, 18 years. I've written for teamusa.org for 18 years, and they sent the influencers instead. So I thought, I wouldn't be working this Olympics. And this story from Slate fell in my lap. It was fortunately before Lindsey's horrific crash, but after her pre-Olympic accident. This editor from Slate magazine just emailed me out of the blue. I asked him later where he got my email, and was from another journalist I'd worked with at Killington, and just happened to, chit chat with. So it always pays to be nice to people and kind. And I had 24 hours to write this story, and I don't know, it just came out of me. I was allowed to riff, writing for a publication that is not typically a ski, doesn't have a ski audience. The editor didn't really know that much about skiing. He was like, I want you to compare Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. We can't compare them. I mean, you can, but there's, significant differences. So I was lucky to work with a very good editor. And I was lucky to have a couple of assignments during the Olympics. I got to cover the Olympics from home, hoping I get a few more Olympic assignments in the future. But always an honor, as Maura said, to write about something we love and to write about athletes I've written about for decades, well, decade and a half. So anyway, thank you, everybody. And it's always an honor to be recognized by this group of ski journalists. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Peggy. Congratulations. Moving on, our next award is the Paul Robbins Outstanding Competitor of the Year, awarded to North American snow sports participants who have distinguished themselves in amateur or professional competition during the current season. The winner is selected by online vote of active press, retired press, and corporate members. This year's winner is, no surprise here, Jessie Diggins. And we have a little thank you video from Jessie that we'll play here.
Hi everyone, Jessie Diggins here. Well, I'm sorry that I can't be there for the live event. I'm sure that this is an incredible opportunity to recognize and award some outstanding individuals. Thank you to everyone in the room for covering snow sports and helping us tell our stories. It really means a lot to me. Personally, I've found over the course of my career that the advocacy and having the platform and the ability to talk about mental health and eating disorders and climate change awareness and how we need to help keep creating a more inclusive space in the snow sports industry, those have been very, very important to me, and all of your work greatly contributes to that. So this is my moment to get to say thank you to all of you. Please keep telling the stories of all my teammates in cross-country skiing. This is such an incredible time to be a fan and to be involved with the sport. And it's just, it's been amazing to see all of the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. Thank you so much for the Paul Robbins Outstanding Competitor Award. That is such an honor. I'm very humbled to receive it, and it means a lot to be recognized in the final season of my career. So thank you all very much, and I will keep this short and sweet so you can keep enjoying the awards.
Congratulations to Jessie. And I think Jessie is, a very important figure in this industry as a whole. So congratulations to her. Our next award, the Mitch Kaplan Award, presented to the journalist whose best work captures the spirit, enthusiasm, and dedication that Mitch Kaplan brought to the coverage of snow sports. Mitch was a former NASJA Secretary-Treasurer and multiple Harold S. Hirsch Award winner. The nominee does not have to be a NASJA member. And for a second time this evening, we are honored to recognize Dino Vornas, this time as the recipient of the 2026 Mitch Kaplan Award. Dino has long brought that spirit to his work through his photography, journalism, and continued dedication to NASJA and the snow sports community. He has helped document and celebrate the people, places, and experiences that define this sport. His work reflects not only a love of the mountains, but also a commitment to sharing that love with others. Whether through an image, a story, or a presence within the organization, Dino continues to contribute meaningfully to the way snow sports are seen, understood, and appreciated. Please join us again in congratulating Dino as recipient this year's 2026 Mitch Kaplan Award.
Thank you.
Dino,
Yeah.
we've already spoken to you, but what does this mean to you? How do you feel? I mean, double award winner is pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's embarrassing. Yeah, I tell you the truth, I didn't see it coming at all, and I was immediately flabbergasted and then bewildered, and then I started thinking about all the things that NASJA means to me and to all the members. I think I think that I'm going on 50 years at NASJA, and a lot has gone on since then, since the beginning. I think that we have a great trade. We had a great trade back then. I think up until things changed with with people, with bloggers and things like that, things changed, and we were kind of left without a place to go every year. But I think it was a great trade-off for those years. It was the golden age, really. I think we in exchange for a story and in newspapers or magazines, we got to go to these outrageous places that I probably wouldn't have ever gone. Being a journalist, I was a photojournalist by trade, and it was very difficult. It would have been very difficult to go to these grand hotels and on these trips without the assistance of the ski areas. And I started at the Daily Review in Hayward, and I got about 1977. I went to a NASJA meeting. A friend of mine, Charlie Coane, was a member, and I joined pretty quickly after that. And then so along the way, I met Mitch Kaplan, and Mitch was a very committed guy. I think he had children's programs were his main thing. He really wanted to sell skiing to the young kids. One reason is to keep skiing going, but also to give kids what they needed. Some kids needed discipline. Some kids needed to really focus on things to help them out. And I talked to Mitch a lot about his what he was doing and why. I had a couple of shots here I wanted to show you. Is that coming out all right now? Okay.
A little bit.
Well, it looks good here.
Could you send us those pictures? Could you email them over?
Sure. Yeah,
That'd be great.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just send them to Bob or
or to me, Stephanie. Sorry, at execs. I'll email you later for him.
Oh, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you? We haven't been introduced.
My photo's not up because I'm running the slideshow here, but I'm here. But I would love to see those or share everybody since you actually.
I'll certainly.
Mitch. That's really cool.
Yeah, I can send them, immediately after the meeting.
That'd be great.
Well, I think, let's see, my notes are all messed up. That's about, all I can say. I hope that NASJA continues to, thrive and figure out some ways to get us back together again as a group, at least at one time a year. And that would be good. So thanks very much again. I'm really, blown away by the honor. And I hope to see you on the slopes next year.
Excellent. Thank you, Dino.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
We're on to the Bob Gillen Memorial Award. This is awarded to an individual corporate member of NASJA for contributions to the advancement of snow sports, exemplifying the highest standards of professionalism in public relations and communications, and understanding the working relationship between the information specialist and the journalist. named for Bob Gillen, former ski magazine editor and marketer at Crested Butte and Sugarbush Resorts, and a staunch ally of NASJA. This year's winner is Eric Mogensen. Eric Mogensen is the recipient of the 2026 Bob Gillen Memorial Award, honoring achievements in snow sports, public relations, and communication. This season, Eric's communications around Black Mountain stood out for their clarity, consistency, and transparency. Through his newsletters and regular updates, he kept skiers, partners, media, and the broader community informed in a way that felt honest, direct, and deeply connected to the mountain. His work also reflects a larger commitment to independent skiing. Eric has helped amplify the stories, challenges, and character of smaller independent ski areas, places that are often at the heart of local ski culture. He shows he truly cares about the spirit of independent skiing, the people, the communities, the access, the grit, and the love of the sport that keeps these mountains alive. The Bob Gillen Award honors not only communications excellence, but also trust, accessibility, and collaboration. Eric represents those values with authenticity and heart. Please join us in congratulating Eric Mogensen, recipient of the 2026 Bob Gillen Memorial Award.
Thanks, Eric.
Congratulations. I think, obviously the work you've done with Black Mountain the past couple of years has been remarkable and trend-setting and, impactful in so many ways, and in the way that you saved that mountain, which is, a favorite of mine. So congratulations on this award. And what does it mean to be, sort of this independent, not saver, but you're an independent sort of like, you pay attention, and you pay attention to such a degree that you're able to resurrect something. And what does that mean in the end to you?
Yeah, I think what it really means to me is my happiest memories as a human were at a small little ski area with my parents, and bringing that back and sharing that just means a ton. Like if you think of anyone on this call, you think of your happiest moments, right? Whether it was at the cottage or whether it was, doing something that just like intrinsically just makes you happy. That's what small ski areas are to me. And sometimes you don't know how valuable something is until you lose it. And I've lost my little ski area at 16. And kept going bigger and bigger and working for the bigger resorts and skiing in Vermont and teaching in Colorado and teaching in France, and was never really able to reproduce or find what I found here, in the first place. So I'm super excited about it. I'm really, really thankful for this award. I firmly believe that we are not competing for people's money in the ski business. We're competing for their time. And we are no longer just competing against golf and tennis and spring sports and other things. We're now competing against social media. We're now competing against screen time. And it's hard. It's getting really, really hard. But I do believe that, we are not communicating to AI agents or robots. We're communicating to other humans. And the deeply personal stories that these groups tell about those humans, that go beyond high-speed quads and snowmaking, and really tell those stories, that's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to stay relevant. That's how we're going to win against the screen time. And I grew up reading a lot of the people on this call's their articles. So it's a very deeply humbling privilege to be recognized by this group. And every single day I'm living my dream here at Black Mountain and Entebbe and Indy Pass. And I'm extremely happy. And I think that privilege, and I think that comes through in my communication. And I think it's the same with everyone else in this group. So thank you very much. And thank you for all the important work that everyone does here to share that sport and culture of skiing.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Just tremendous work. We are on to the final award of this evening, the Carson S. White Snowsports Achievement Award. This is NASJA's highest honor, bestowed to an individual or individuals who have made a significant contribution to the advancement of snow sports in North America, either achieved with a single defining accomplishment or through a lifetime of snow sports endeavors. Carson White was the first president of the U.S. Ski Writers Association, our predecessor organization. This year's winner is Tom Kelly. The Carson White Snowsports Achievement Award is NASJA's highest honor, presented to an individual whose work has made a significant and lasting. We already did that. We're awarding it to Tom Kelly. Excuse me. Sorry. Little script problems. Tom's impact on North American snow sports is both broad and deeply personal. Over the course of his career, he has helped shape the way our sports are communicated, covered, remembered, and celebrated. He has been a storyteller, a historian, a communicator, a mentor, and a steady advocate for the athletes, journalists, organizations, and people who make this industry so meaningful. For many on this call, Tom is more than For many in this room, Tom is more than a respected industry leader. He is a trusted colleague, a generous source, and a person who understands the essential relationship between the media and the snow sports world. He has helped countless journalists do their jobs better by offering context, access, perspective, and a deep respect for the craft of storytelling. Tom's contributions go far beyond one role, one organization, or one chapter of his career. His work has helped elevate Olympic and competitive snow sports, preserve the history of skiing, and strengthen the bridge between athletes, media, and the public. He has brought professionalism, warmth, and credibility to every corner of the industry he has touched. The Carson White Award honors those whose contributions leave a lasting mark. Tom Kelly has done exactly that. His career reflects a lifetime of service to the sport, a deep belief in the power of communication, and a genuine love for the people and stories that define snow sports. It is hard to imagine a more fitting recipient of NASJA's highest honor. Please join us in congratulating Tom Kelly as recipient of the 2026 Carson White Snowsports Achievement Award.
Thank you very much, Eric. I want to thank my family members who are on here today, and also my wife and others who are here at our Star Barn in Park City to be a part of this celebration this evening. I also want to thank NASJA President Bob Curley and all the NASJA members who voted in this process, and fellow recipients tonight, Stuart, Moira, Peggy, Dino, Eric, congratulations to all of you. This award program that NASJA does is one of the very most important things the organization does now and has done over its 63 years of existence. So thank you very much for that. I want to make a few comments tonight, and I want to start in talking about Carson White. I did have the privilege of meeting Carson back in the 70s. I did not know him well, but I've known about him for so many years, and I think his story is a story, it's the same story of skiing passion that has brought all of us together on this call tonight. He was described as a skier's skier. He embodied the love of the sport that all of us have. He was a close friend of Wayne Paulson at Squaw Valley and was very involved in the early scene there. And in the post-World War II era, he really became a pioneer journalist for the sport of skiing, not just in California, but in America. He worked for the San Francisco Examiner, and he really became a role model for what a ski writer is. And he also became the first president of the U.S. Ski Writers Association back in 1963. And I want to talk a little bit about my own NASJA pathway. I was an aspiring photographer and journalist in Wisconsin back in the 70s. I joined the U.S. Ski Writers Association, and I was really proud of that membership. And in our Central Division, we had well over 100 members, stretching from Minnesota all the way to Ohio. And I got this brilliant idea in the mid-70s or late 70s that maybe we ought to split that into two divisions. And I actually created a new division in the Upper Midwest and was the president of that for several years. So I do have a long history with NASJA that I'm really quite proud of. I want to talk about the meaning of awards. And, you know, Eric, you touched on this a little bit. And I think the most important thing in awards is understanding where they came from. Who are the people whose names are on these awards. I was honored in 2009 to receive the Bob Gillen Award. And what made that even more important for me was the fact that I knew Bob and I worked with Bob, and I had this high level of respect for him. So to get an award in his name was very meaningful to me. And it's the same thing with the Carson White Award. I've known who Carson was, and to get this award is really meaningful in my heart. I took a look at some of the past recipients, and it's very humbling to look at that list. People like Dr. Roche, who started SIA, my very dear friend, the late Bob Beatty, Harold Hirsch, Stein Erickson, who spent so much of his time right here in Park City, Avril Harriman, Warren Miller, Dick Durrance, Willie Scheffler. And one of the most important to me was Tony Wise from Telemark in Wisconsin, who started the American Birkebeiner. And I think I probably was the one who wrote his nomination back in 1979, but he was a really important mentor to me. Just in closing, a few notes. I hope that all of you take away tonight a bit of motivation yourself to look at these awards and look at them as goals, to use it as a target to improve your writing and your podcasting, your video and photography work, your book writing, whatever it might be. And remember that all of us are here as journalists, but all of us are here in our hearts as skiers and snowboarders. That's the passion that brought us here. Thank you very much for this honor. It's deeply appreciated.
Thank you very much, Tom. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to all of our award winners tonight.
Hello, everybody. Hang on a second. I got to be able to hear you. I'm in a public place.
Hello?
Yep, sorry. That was our. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dino. So go ahead, Greg. Sorry. Whoops, sorry. Eric, go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. All right. Congratulations to all the award winners. Want to once again thank you to the presenters, the judges, the NASJA board members, partners, attendees, to Bob and Stephanie for putting this all together, making it nice and easy for even someone like me to do pretty well at it. We encourage all members to stay connected with NASJA programs, member resources, and check for upcoming events. As for me, thank you very much. This was an honor. I was glad to be asked. And once again, nice to be in a room with these talented people. So great night and congratulations.
Great. And thank you very much to you, Eric. Much appreciated. And I just wanted to quickly say thanks for the history lesson, Tom. That's, people like Tom and Dino and Maura, they're the collective memory of this organization. And it is humbling to kind of think back that, for the decades of history that this group has. And hopefully we've got an equally bright future ahead of us. I did ask Stephanie to unmute everybody briefly at the end. So sorry that it ended up being a little premature, but really just to give everybody a chance to give a real audible congratulations to everyone because at this point, thank you guys.
Bravo. Good job. Perfect.
Congratulations.
Bob, can I say something?
Sure.
We have a lot. I mean, I have a lot of photos from. We did a movie, a video for the 50th anniversary, and that has a lot of interesting photographs that I've collected. I got a whole raft of photos from the Eastern ski riders, and then I had a lot myself. But there's still photography and video that that could be put on the website when the website gets going again. And there's just a lot to see if people are interested in the history. The video, I think the video came out really well. Greg Snow and I put it together right before the Mammoth meeting in 2013. So if you want to, I would be interested in helping with that, and just maybe having a presence on the website for just to kind of get a continuum going from that era.
No, I think that's a great idea, and as you know, as you and everyone else hopefully knows that Stephanie's been working really hard to get that new website up and running, and it will be ready for prime time pretty soon. That's the kind of thing that you know, we want to build that site out and really do want to highlight the history of the organization, because it is a deep and long history. So yeah, so thanks for that, and we'll definitely be back in touch, Dina.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I did the narration of that.
Yes, Curtis did.
I recognize your voice. We do have that up. We just got that on our About page, actually, Dino. But I would love to chat on getting some pictures. And Curtis, it's so funny you said that, because I was like, oh my God, I know your voice. I was just watching.
Curtis did a great job on that, on the movie.
Yeah.
Good.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say hi from Canada. I notice I'm the only one on here tonight. I'm MP. I'm a past first VP. So a lot of people I've met in person, some of I haven't. So congratulations to everybody. You're all deserving. And,
Could I could I say give you my apologies for the way we've been that certain people have been treating you Canadians in general?
Absolutely, but
I'm really sorry.
Last year, when I went to Lake Placid to meet many of you, and it was the U.S. Ski Hall of Fame, I got hugs in every gondola. So I've been the ambassador back here. Like, I know Tom Kelly always says I put the North and North American Snowsports Journalists Association. And also, if you really want to make it up to us, maybe a little Stanley Cup would be nice.
Yeah, it's yours. It is yours.
Canadians have a chance for a change. It's looking pretty good.
We got one chance left. But no, nice to see everybody. And next year, I was talking to Stephanie. You're doing a great job. And next year, I'll make sure that more Canadians are nominated, because it's nice to recruit more people. So it's really fun to go back and forth with you, all of Americans that we love. So just wanted to share some love from Canada back.
Thanks, MP.
Yeah, I look forward to that. We'll work together soon, MP. I love it. I love Quebec, so we ski there a lot. So
yeah,
we love Canada.
We're nice. We love you too. We love the US dollar too.
Yeah. Well, it was
Right,
good
guys,
to meet you guys.
I think that's a wrap.
Good to see your faces. So yeah.
Well,
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Nice.
Guys, we'll be in touch.
Congrats, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.